fat, I'm black, and I'm a Haitian. I was very disconcerted by what my friend told me. We sat there, and this was the first time we were talking about I hate school. And she turned to me, "You hate school?" I was like, "Yeah. I'm black, I'm too skinny, and I wear braces and glasses." And yeah, she really did look like Precious. But to me, what I saw was someone who was smart, she was going places, fashionable, beautiful, empathetic. And that was the first time in my life that I actually listened to someone else's story. And I had to wonder, who among my peers with our fancy sneakers, good hair, fit bodies, how many of us were actually hurting inside? How many of us
Second
were,
prize,
how many of us were
third
hurting
prize,
inside
fourth prize.
and didn't really know the true stories that were happening among us? When I was 12, I got a diary, and I used it first to judge my people because I thought I was listening. I was like, she don't know what she doing. And eventually, around my third book, I thought to myself, but what about you? You're judging everybody else, but are you listening to yourself, your own story? This is what you actually look like when you have a diary at 17, and that's what you think you look like. And I realized that everyone is different, but we're all kind of the same. The human story, the things we connect on, emotions, is all the same. And so I started to listen. I heard stories about my grandfather, who was a famous boxer in the Caribbean, and he also boxed in Europe. And then I also heard the other side of this story about a guy who abandoned his family, which inspired my grandmother to become an entrepreneur. And as I began to learn to be quiet even more, I learned about my mom's family, people who are obsessed with class and being proper. And I learned that my great-great-grandmother or someone lived in this house across from a Methodist church. Like, this is her house, and literally the church is right there. And she wasn't a proper woman. She had 8 children from a man who would not marry her. And because of that, she could not go to church. But look at us today. And I became obsessed with listening to people's stories. How many of us have asked a question today that we really wanted the answer to? I find in my many odd jobs that people say, "Hi, how are you?" "Hi, I'm good, I'm good." And we go through these auto templates and we never really listen to each other. And I realized that I wanted to be a storyteller. And I thought when I left my island, the thing I had to do was do big things. Yoga on the Pyramid of the Moon in Egypt, meet the Queen of the Netherlands, sign to a deaf couple. I thought I had to do big things. And what I realized is that the stories, my best stories, the ones that connected humanity, were the ones where I deviated from the path, where I searched for an adventure. This is actual footage of me cooking. I put just a little too much salt in my omelet, just a little bit. And it's these mundane stories and these events that help me to have pages and on pages of stories that I share in the work that I write and in my performances. And as a storyteller, my mission is to convey every human emotion, but also to use any means necessary, any medium necessary to tell a story. And so what does the future look like for me? Well, the future is uncertain. We can have plans, but to be a great storyteller, you have to listen to the rhythm of the day. You have to feel it. And I think that's something that the Caribbean is exceptionally good at. When we wake up in the morning, we say, "Morning, neighbor." Someone looks at your face and say, "Oh, you look like George people." Yeah. Or you wake up with a plan, with a mission, like, I'm going to go to the bank and a grocery store and go home. But on your way to town, 10 people stop you and you're just like, why this island can't just move? But that is the greatness of being Caribbean. And my mission as a storyteller is to connect the Caribbean with the world and the world with the Caribbean. I want to share our morals. I want to share our values. I want to share the things that make us powerful. And I also want these stories on a micro level to change the way we connect with our friends. When we look at each other, are we really seeing each other? Are we really asking when we say, how are you? Do we just want to hear good, or do we want to hear who we are? And so as a writer and a performer, my mission is always to encourage people to transcend the norm. Thank you. I'm not a cutesy Instagram person, so you're not gonna come here to find like eyebrows on fleek or like, contour for the gods. The only contouring I got going on right here right now is my mustache. If you actually know me in real life and you watch this video and you don't click like just because you know me and you're glad I'm alive, you're dirty. You're no good, you're dirty. Just click like, man. Like, it's totally anonymous. Like, nobody in the world going to know that you actually like this video. Don't be stingy. Just click like.
Guess who? Solo Queen. Sigma Defense. Big Blacks.